All right, good afternoon, folks. My name's Mitch.
My name's Matt.
Welcome to Off the Cuff, where two marketers come together to discuss what's working, what's not, what we see every day, questions that are asked us directly from clients. We're just here to express, have fun, and share with you what we know. Matt, how's it going today?
Awesome. I'm excited. So this is the first time that we're doing the show, and our intention with this is literally just to talk shop, just talk about what's working right now and just have some fun. So with that being said, let's get to it. Let's have that. Absolutely.
So as Matt knows, I was on social media doing what we do on social media. I'm a Facebook marketer. I do Facebook ads, whereas Matt focuses solely on content and pay-per-click, so Google ads. So I'm always on Facebook, and I came across a post today, Matt, a post on the Bosses Helping Bosses group. Tell me a little bit about that post and all the controversy.
Apparently I'm a shit disturber. Yeah, so I like to do posts in this group and just kind of offer some value, kind of share what's on my mind. I'm always on my phone just kind of writing up different posts and content. It's just a habit of mine as a copywriter. And so I posted in this group today a fairly long form post that was just talking about the importance, of really understanding your market at a level where you're moving past your own desires and moving into their selfish desires, really appealing to what people want on a deep level. So I made this post telling this story about me when I was doing buskering for Canada Day on my bike, doing some tricks and some discoveries that we made, and I went into and I linked it all into this clever marketing thing, Thought it was super cool. Posted up onto this group, and man, it was the most polarizing thing apparently, because some people were like, yo, this is awesome, thank you so much. And then other people were like, this is way too long, you can't post this kind of stuff. And to be honest with you, I was kind of loving it, because it was just everyone's looking at my post, so that's cool. But definitely stirred the pot there a bit.
So man, when you see something like that that's happening back and forth, you have so many, like you said, polarized content. You have so many that are for it, so many who are essentially sticking up for you. I'm guilty. I sort of commented and
Thanks, Mitch.
and thought, you're welcome, man. I was thinking that, you could just skip content, right? And if you don't want to see any posts by that person, then you could just hide them. That's the beauty of Facebook. That's the beauty of basically digital media nowadays, that we have control over that thing. But when you see that 50-50 cut, let's just say it was more 70-30 or 80-20, that, what do you get from that? What does that tell you at the end of the day?
That I'm triggering people.
You're triggering people, yeah.
Yeah, that I'm creating emotions, whether it be good or bad. I'm creating a response. And that's kind of what I want, is me being a direct response marketer. That tells me that I'm doing something right, because my language is either getting people 100% on board, yo, that's awesome, man, I completely agree, or I'm pushing people to the point where they're ruffling their feathers a bit,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I see it as, personally, when I saw that, I'm going, well, aren't you just basically sort of filtering who isn't your client right at that point, right? You have people who just aren't interested in your content, they don't want to read it, or it's not triggering them. Is it filtering the client, or do you sometimes look at it and think, maybe I can improve the copy so that it engages these people also?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. You get your opinion on
that's
that.
a good question. It reminds me a lot of originally when I was when I received some sales coaching to just help with my sales process and all that, and kind of just expand it. In the beginning, I would try and follow up with every single lead and really get them to sign up, and even if they weren't kind of ideal, maybe as a personality fit, I would be I need to grow the business, I'm going to follow up with this person. And I've kind of evolved to a new point now where I'm really looking for long-term relationships, right? And so if I'm making posts and stuff, I put a lot of my own personality into these posts of I like to joke, and I like to kind of poke fun at things and stir the pot a little bit. And so if I'm triggering someone and they're coming out and getting mad or whatever or anything like that, then that to me is a sign that my copy is good. That means that it's like, it's a true representation of what my brand, like what I stand for, is really all about. And so I think that it's not a copy issue. I think that, like, to your point, I think it's a good thing. I think I'm separating those people who don't vibe with my vibe, you know, and I'm mega attracting the people that think that I'm cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think you're pretty cool, Matt.
Thanks. I think you're cool too.
So, essentially,
Yeah.
I guess also I look at it and think,
Yeah.
well, the people who are quote unquote like sticking up for you, but meaning it's because they're enjoying the content, they see
Yeah.
value in it. Do you see at all a good potential there? You're going like, well, they like it, and so I'm going to keep working with them or push
Yeah.
content that might be geared towards
Yeah.
more towards them, or do you just say, nah, I'm just going to write what I want to write? I mean, is there something strategic there
Yeah.
that you can take from it, or do you just write for Matt? Right?
Yeah. I think it's a fine line. Like, I don't write for just me. I'm writing for an audience, right?
Yeah.
No pun intended. I write for an audience, but, you know, when I'm writing those posts, it's very intentional. I have a vision in my mind of like who I'm speaking to, and so it's kind of like, I don't know, man. It's like, for me, it's like, love me or hate me, at least you know me. I just want to put my content out there. People just see it. If the overall general, like, kind of, you know, consensus is that, like, okay, it's getting attention, it's getting a buzz, people are enjoying it, and then if another group of people aren't, then it's like, it's doing its job, man. I just want eyes on what I'm doing, because then that allows me to bring in more people, which allows me to, like, fulfill my mission, right? So
You've created a lot of buzz. Like, I'm like,
Thanks,
I'm
man.
totally engaged. I've seen your posts get no likes to 1,
yeah.
to 3, to controversy, to, you know, and so it definitely works. And I think the key takeaway here that that Matt is trying to tell you is basically go out there and create that buzz. Now, I feel like it's not. I'm Canadian, so I can say it, I guess. But Canadians they play it safe. They're always
Yeah.
playing it safe.
Yeah.
Where we're like, well, we don't want to push too far. We don't want to insult anyone. Of course, we don't want to insult anyone either.
No.
But it's across the border is completely different. And that's where I spent most of my time for the last 10, 15 years, was south of the border, because they'll push and push and push, and they'll exhaust
Yeah.
a message until it's just been, you know, it's kind of like overused, or it's not generating any results anymore. You know, and it works for them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the companies we're working out there are, it's not the amount that they spend, but they see value in spending to get a return type thing.
Yeah.
They really push, though. I mean, it's just such a different landscape. I don't know if you see that as well.
I feel like the problem here is that a lot of people, they do marketing for a while and it's working really, really well. And then they get bored and then they're like, let's try some other stuff and get more creative. People always want to be creative, but, you know, advertising that works really, really well isn't always creative.
Right.
Actually, most of the time it's pretty boring. But if it's working, don't stop it. Just keep it going.
Push it.
Yeah, push
it
it.
to
Keep
the
going.
end.
Push
Yeah,
it,
push
push
it to
it
the
until
end.
it fizzles out or whatever.
Yeah, a quick story from our perspective too is basically we let the data talk. We always let the data talk. Marketing traditionally is a very creative
Yeah.
endeavor, where, you know, how the ads are going to work. If anybody's seen Mad Men, right, you know, you're pitching and you've got like, we're going to sell it with this guy holding a cigarette Camels. This was back in the 60s. But you know, we go, that's all fantastic and all that, but that would just be taking a guess.
Yeah. I mean, basically, just to kind of close that loop, it's just kind of like, you know, people here, I wrote this in my private newsletter, but it's like people here, you know, they're scared to stir the pot, you know?
Yeah.
They're scared to be like, they're scared to be controversial. They're scared to polarize. They're scared to swear. They're scared to do all this stuff. And like, you have to realize that really good advertising comes down to like pulling someone out of their boring, mundane life, because most of people who are reading your ads are scrolling through in some kind of like trance when they're on the bus or they're, you know, waiting for their friend or something like that. So you got to reach out and grab them by the throat, pull them in, and give them the message that they really want.
Right. Anyway, anything like, I mean, that was interesting today though.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
with that post and all the back and forth
Yeah.
and whatnot. And I mean, I get it. People are, you know, they're like, well, I got to scroll. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that my grandmother would say the same because she just
Yeah.
doesn't know how to control it. But on the other side of the fence, like, I'm so pro what you wrote. Like, I mean,
Thanks,
I'm
man.
pro that rather than, I mean, what's an extra, literally, guys, like, you do it all the time. What's an extra, all right, next post.
So,
Like, I mean,
yeah.
skip it.
So what do you think though about long form copy versus the short form copy? Do you think that people still read long copy?
If it's interesting and engaging, it
Yes.
is. I'll tell you, here's something. A friend of mine, she used to do very long form copy, but it was so engaging.
Yeah,
Hence the book.
right.
She's an author. She's great. I'd read it and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like it's like I
Nice.
felt very connected to it. If you know who you are, no offense. After a while though, I was like, now it's getting long, and
Right.
so I don't really have much feedback, but my feedback is that I felt that way, but I'm not sure what that means. I think maybe in the beginning, I think if it's engaging, it's good, but once the connection is made, I'm like, all right, let's get to the point.
Right.
So I realized that she's writing content for those who are not yet or haven't engaged yet or something
Yeah.
like that. Whereas now I'm looking at it going, I cycle past it.
Yeah.
Like, cause I'm like, all right, like, you know, I'm waiting for that like quick little, now I want the short stuff.
Yeah,
So maybe a good mix,
I agree.
you know, and you do a good mix. I
Yeah.
love that actually. You'll
Yeah.
do like, you know, trials or whatever, you know, like couple
Yeah.
sentences about what's going on. If anybody visits my Facebook, it's just a whole whack of fuckery. And I think most people know that.
Your Facebook's entertaining.
And I just put whatever is up there. I
Yeah.
know I should balance it maybe with a little bit more of this stuff. I did a walking video in Toronto, and my family was like, "What was that? What are you doing?" It's like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like it's so bizarre to them, you
Yeah.
know, whatnot. I did take that down though because it's true. Like I was going so fast. I went through so much content that I was getting things mixed up. Like I wasn't saying
Yeah.
don't invest in a website
Yeah.
at all. It's like the hub. It's actually like it's critical.
That's what I don't
But-
like about video. Is like that's what's hard about video. Like this is hard because we're talking right now
Well,
and
this
like
is easy. We're just talking, but I mean, you feel like you should script it so you're not missing anything or misleading.
exactly. But when you type it out like on your phone and then you make a post, like you can go back, review it, and make
Right.
sure it's perfect. Whereas like the video is like a little trickier.
Now, here's a thought. Because you create that buzz, and you say things, you do things
Yeah.
through social media that
Yeah.
is either positive or negative, and I know with your email newsletter and posts, you open up in a very like controversial way, like,
Yeah.
but then you're like, but like, wait, let me explain, and then you actually,
Yeah.
it makes sense, it comes together.
Yeah.
Video could be the same.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how many people comment on the videos as we produce them, going like, I'm not, you know, did I get that right or this, and ask questions, and actually do ask questions, post in the comments below. We'd like to address those,
Yeah.
and just work from there, because it's true. I mean, video, we're just going off the cuff.
Yeah,
Literally.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
so we could be missing certain things. Like I am definitely pro websites. So I took it off just because I was like, wow, that's like my first video. and,
Getting
like,
confused
I
with
don't
the
have
messaging.
any. Yeah, just didn't want to get it confused. So
Yeah.
But I'll put it back up if you want. It's actually like I liked it.
I thought it was fine. I feel like too, like when it comes to content, I would personally say when you're starting, people have like all this resistance to like putting out, oh, it needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to like come across a certain way. Oh, I need to like say exactly what I want. The fact is, like, your first bit of content that you start putting out, like, it's not going to be good. Like, you need to, it takes practice.
Like this video,
Yeah, exactly. I hope this video is good.
but it could be this video.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure, like, you know, on the 50th video,
We'll be
it's
pros,
we'll
man. It'll be
pros.
nothing. We'll have
Yeah,
like our
exactly.
T-shirts, and we'll have
Yeah,
fans
yeah.
in the back.
All kinds of merch.
Yeah,
Just waiting to be sold to you.
yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, off the cuff.
But yeah, so it was an interesting day. And you know, it kind of did make me like reflect a little bit more on the copy side of things just like long, short. And I think here's my perspective on the long and short copy, and I think that would be a good way to kind of close the loop on this, is that like long copy seems to work well when you have to convince someone something, right? Like they say the more you tell, the more you sell. So it's like, I felt like in that post, I felt that I needed to tell that story and really like walk people along and convince them about this kind of topic that I was talking about. Like, you know, people are selfish. It's a controversial thing to say. And so I just personally felt like I needed to say a little bit more. And also our industry is a little bit jaded too, because like people are a little jaded with marketers, and they're not always sure like who to trust. And so it was kind of my way of like building a little bit more rapport rather than just being like, this is what we do, here's our website, and go to it. You know, it's like, that's boring, man, and people don't trust it.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first comments, right? It was like, just write a little blurb and link to your website. We have tons of data and stats because we do Facebook ads. Facebook will definitely prefer you to use their forms for lead capture than to go to an external page.
Right.
They're in the business of keeping people on their site.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I disagreed with that comment. I think that it's basically put it all up there, let people DM you, that you're doing organic marketing. It's completely different.
Yeah.
So with ads, we would probably do a short blurb, and actually, because Facebook will not approve something that has too many words, and then link to a lead capture at that point, or link to an external page. But they definitely prefer the lead capture. Yeah. Anyway, that was my thought on that comment that I was just reminded here. But
yeah,
it was good stuff though. Seriously, I mean,
thanks, man.
I'm sure you learned a lot from it. I definitely did.
Yeah, I think everyone in the group did actually.
Yeah.
Like people were looking at it, and I don't know, I was getting a lot of messages.
Yeah, and I think it's good controversy. It's not like, yeah, I don't want to call out names, not even scenarios, because everybody's going to know who they are. But I've seen some stuff that is borderline, you know, it's like it's insulting. You're like you're putting down like an organization. And I don't care how big it is. I don't care if it's like Scotiabank. But as soon as you start talking shit about a company, I think there's just the negative energy there that we shouldn't bring that in, you know.
Yeah.
So overall, people were pretty respectful. They're just like, yeah, I agree. I don't want to see long posts, and it's like fair.
Yeah, it's fair. Like, yo, if you're not into that and it like annoys you, then like click unfollow me, yo.
Yeah.
Because like that's what I like to do.
Right. Yeah. No, I hear you. So are you over it now?
You know, I was a little heartbroken. You know, I almost cried, but I think I'll be good now.
You'll survive.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you have any comments or questions, leave them below. I think we're going to get back to you guys regularly. At least it's the plan. We want to get some content out and just have fun with it.
Yeah.
If you notice, we're standing in front of a whiteboard, and we'll likely never use it. So we're not about giving you stats and numbers and upselling and stuff like that. We just want to bring what we know to you guys. So again, my name's Mitch.
My name's Matt.
And this is Off the Cuff. Take care, guys.